We all set to go? All right. Hey everyone, and thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. I'm glad to have you all here. My name is Taylor Harris, and I am the International Program Manager at Interstaff. Today's event will include an introduction, our requirements, our application process, and our offerings. I will give you all of the information at first, and then I'll answer questions at the end. But feel free to add your questions in the comment at any time. So first things first, I want to know where everyone is from. So now can you please wave your flags in the comments and let us know where you're tuning in from. I want to know. Personally, me, I am joining you all from Texas in the US. So I'm so glad to have you all here. Let me just see where y'all are joining in from. Alrighty, let's see some flags coming in. Kenya, Nigeria, beautiful, beautiful. This is awesome. I'm so excited. Ghana. Oh, hey everyone. This is wonderful. Thank y'all so much. All right, so continue to wave your flags in the comments. I'm gonna get started, but I still wanna know where you're from. So let's get started. For those who are new to Interstaff, we've been in business since 1998 and have recruited over 1,000 registered nurses to work as an RN in the US. Interstaff is a family-run staffing agency, and we view our nurses as family also. Our program offers an EB3 visa to our nurses, which affords them and their family US permanent residency and permanent work status. Hey, Rosaline from Nigeria. Kenya, Dorcas from Ghana. Hey, y'all. All right, so that's a brief introduction about Interstaff. I'll tell you about our requirements. So first things first, we require you to be a registered nurse. We accept both BSN and nursing diplomas. At this time, Interstaff does not have any positions for other healthcare professions, just registered nurses. Currently, we ask you to work full-time in an acute care inpatient facility with 100 plus beds. We ask you to have at least 1 year of experience in an approved hospital setting and approved unit. We can send you a personal message on which units we are currently recruiting for. And so we also asked you to have an active nursing license and an updated CV. When you submit an application, if you don't already have an updated CV, we do have resources that will allow you to create one. And last but not least, we ask you to have strong English. Many of the professions in the hospital speak English, so we ask that you'll be able to speak English in a clinical setting. Hey, Olivia from Nigeria. I'm going to be reading off some of the comments as well as I go. So thank y'all for that. Okay, so some things that we don't require. Many people ask this, but we do not require nurses to pass the Nclex or Ielts or any other part of the EB3 visa process before applying with our agency. If you have completed any steps of the program, then that's great. It's just one less thing that you have to do during our program, but you do not have to pass the Nclex or Ielts before joining Interstaff. Just the basic requirements that I just stated for you all. Okay, so let's talk about the application process. Say you're ready and you meet the requirements and you're ready to go. Wonderful, we'd love to speak with you. So with the application process, if you're interested in applying, there are several ways you can do so. So first, there'll be a link to apply in the chat section of this video that we will add for you. And you can also send us a message on Facebook. Sorry. You can also send us a message on Facebook. You can visit our website or apply on any one of the Facebook ads that you might have seen come across your Facebook timeline. We also have Instagram and YouTube, so we'll send you the links to those as well. So once you submit an application, you'll be prompted to complete a pre-qualification form. We we ask for your updated CV, a copy of your nursing license, and a little bit more information about your current employment and your nursing education. This will just make sure that you meet our second level requirements. So the first application you complete is basic level requirements, that you're working in a hospital, you're a registered nurse, and you have some hospital experience. And then the next level is just to make sure that you are in an approved hospital setting, in an approved unit, and just to get some more background information about you. This will help our nurses know more about you in the interview, so they'll have some of your information to speak with you about. Just like a normal interview if you were going for a job at a hospital in your home country. And so once your pre-qualification form is completed and approved, we'll send you a link to schedule an interview with one of our 3 nurses on staff. We have great nurses that are loving and willing to speak with you. We have Tanya, we have Stacy, and we have our newest nurse on staff, Amy. They're all willing and ready to speak with you all. Okay, so now let's say that you completed the application process, you finished your interview, and now you're offered a contract to come work as a nurse in the US through Interstaff, and you want to know what's next. That's a great question. So once you sign an agreement, you'll be assigned a dedicated processing officer to help you with the process from start to finish. That is one thing that we really hone in. Like, your processing officer will be there with you every step of the way, guiding you through the process. We want to make you feel at ease, and if you ever have any questions, they're here to help you. So you will receive your processing officer and their information as soon as you sign an agreement. So there will be a link in this chat section directing you to the steps of our process. And so we will guide you through the CGFNS process, the Nclex review, the state board application process, the I-140 process, and the list continues. We're here to help you with everything, so no worries at all, okay? And so I would like to now discuss our offerings. As previously stated, you're assigned a processing officer right from the beginning. And so we offer you a free 3-month Nclex review to help you prepare for the exam. Currently, Interstaff has an 81% first-time pass rate among our nurses. And we like to mention that we do not terminate contracts if nurses don't pass the Nclex on the first try. We won't give up on you. You just undergo another review to help you try again, and we'll be here rooting for you. But yes, we are here to help you pass the Nclex. We have all the resources that you need. There are several Nclex testing agencies that you have the choice of visiting. There's an Nclex test center in Johannesburg, South Africa. There's one in India. There's one in the Philippines, in the UK. And so Interstaff will help you. We will write a letter on your behalf to the embassy to help you get a visitor's visa to test for the Nclex. And so continuing on our offerings, for nurses who abide by our timeline requirements, we cover their state board application fee and fingerprint card fee. We also cover your Nclex registration fee, and we provide an Nclex travel reimbursement for when you return from taking the exam to help ease some of those costs that you will undergo with traveling to take the Nclex. And so for Nclex passers, if you're out there, let us know in the chat. We'd love to speak with you as well. So Nclex passers, meaning those who have passed the Nclex before signing an agreement with Interstaff, they receive up to $4,500 in bonuses and in offerings. And so details will be given in the interview. And we also offer I-140 premium processing for Nclex and Ielts passers whose country's priority date is current. So as the previous visa bulletin stated, all countries are currently current except for India and China. So that means that if you get to the immigration process and are ready to start your I-140 application, there will not be a wait for you to begin the process. We have some more people from Ghana, Kenya, Cherish from Nigeria. Hey, everybody. Okay, so next we pay for all of your green card and visa fees. We also manage your family's immigration process. And so a lot of questions I receive is, can my family come with me to the U.S. when I go, or do they have to wait? That's a great question. Your family can immigrate with you to the U.S. along your side. There is no waiting process involved. So you can all come and get settled together as a happy family, and we'll help you get settled. And I'll speak a little bit about our deployment process in a little bit. Okay, so we also pay for your flight to the U.S. And once you arrive here in the U.S., one of our many deployment coordinators, some of you may know them. If you're tuning in, you're already hearing from in the U.S. Emma and Caroline and Kelly, one of our newest members, Sylvie, and even our deployment director, Madison. So one of our many deployment coordinators will pick you up from the airport, we'll take you to your home, and we'll get you settled in. And so once you arrive, we'll have a bedroom set for you, a couch and a dining room set, and we'll help you move in your furniture and get you settled in and make you feel at home. And we provide you with a $750 stipend to buy all of your necessities and groceries. We'll take you to the store and get everything you need. And we'll help you set up a bank account. We'll get you a cell phone, and we'll get you situated with your hospital for orientation and things of that nature. And so we also cover your first full month's rent, and we some other things for when nurses get settled. Our nurses get paid every single week, and we do not have any processing fees or paycheck withholdings. You will never have to pay back anything we offered you. And so we place our nurses in multiple states across the U.S. We'll add a link for you so you can see our deployment states and the main attractions in the deployment states and what is there to do when you come and where you can visit and things of that nature. And so just to wrap up, this is our full recruiting process. Our next few Facebook Live events, we would like to discuss the full immigration process and our deployment process. But this has been the recruiting process and what it takes for you to start your application with Interstaff and begin your journey to become a nurse in the U.S. And so now I'll go back through the chat. If you have any questions that I didn't cover or anything like that, I'll be happy to speak with you about. So let's see. Hey, Luz from Mexico and Essie from Kenya. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, you all. Okay. Do you have a choice for which state you want to go to? That's a great question. Thank you, Sienna. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. But so the way that deployment states are chosen, we match your background experience and your current unit to the openings that our hospital has. So say, for example, we have Pennsylvania or Texas or Louisiana, but only Louisiana has an opening for the med-surg unit, and you're a med-surg nurse. So you will be going to Louisiana because that's where our clients have openings. We can't place you where we don't have openings. However, we will take your choices into consideration. Okay, what's an estimated timeline for a nurse who already has her Nclex to migrate to the U.S.? That's a great question. Thank you, Ireke. Again, I'm sorry, y'all. So before COVID, the process timeline for Nclex and Ielts passers was 9 to 12 months. But now with COVID, it's about 12 to 16 months. So for Nclex passers, that just depends on when you pass the Ielts. And so, but it's quicker once you pass the Ielts. So now with COVID timeline, it's about 12 to 16 months if you pass the Nclex. If you haven't started any part of the process, the time frame now, based on COVID and agencies operating at a limited capacity, it's about 22 to 28 months. There's different factors that are involved depending on how long it takes for you to schedule and take the Nclex. The same for the Ielts and your immigration process. Hi, Dominique from Philippines. Thank you for joining us. Okay, let's see. Hi, Esther from Kenya. And let's see. Do we offer a referral bonus? Thank you, Mercy, for your question. So our referral bonus is for Nclex passers only. And so there will be a referral payment for the referrer and for the Nclex passers. At this time, we do not have a general referral bonus for nurses who haven't passed the Nclex. You do not have to be a nurse, and you do not have to be an Interstaff nurse to refer Nclex passers to us. We just ask you to send an email to recruiting@interstaffinc.com. We can put that email address in the chat for you as well. Just send us an email with your name and your information and who you are referring to our agency, and then we'll get you situated with the referral bonus process. Thank you for that question. Hi, Samuel. Thank you for joining us from Nigeria. Your question is, I have an expired ATT. Is there a way Interstaff can help? Of course. If you have an expired ATT, we'll you can still join our program. We'll just help you through that process to go through and get your ATT to test for the Nclex. No worries at all. Okay, what's your required band for Ielts? Thank you for your question, Mabel. So we require the Ielts academic module, and we require an overall band score of 6.5 and a speaking score of 7. So we don't require a specific score for writing or listening, just as long as those scores equal to an overall band score of 6.5. And just to answer, give you additional information for your question, nurses do not have to pass the Ielts before joining Interstaff, but you do have to pass the Ielts before we begin your I-140 process. So, Lucille, thank you for your question. You asked, what happens if we don't pass the Nclex the first time we take it? Great question, thank you. So our free 3-month Nclex review will help nurses prepare for the exam. If you do not pass the Nclex on your first try, you will have to undergo another review. This review will not be covered by Interstaff. You will have to cover the review yourself. We give you the prices and the steps to do the review, but you'll just do another review and then you'll go to pass the Nclex again. Well, you go to try to pass the Nclex. Okay. We have some more people from Ghana. Thank you for joining us. And so, Cherish asks, what happens after the interview with Interstaff? My interview is coming up next month. That's so exciting, Cherish. I know one of our nurses is so excited to speak with you next month during your interview. So during your interview, we'll go through your background experience, your current employment experience. And so if you meet our requirements and we feel that you're a good fit for Interstaff in our program, we will offer you an agreement to come work with us. Once you receive an agreement, you can read through it, and we have created an extensive frequently asked questions article that breaks down the agreement piece by piece, so you can really be comfortable with the terms and know what's required of you and what we offer you and how the process will be. So yes, that is what happens after the interview. If for any reason someone is not chosen to be a part of Interstaff, we will always tell you what you can work on and how you may qualify moving forward. And so we do provide you with that information of how you can become a qualified candidate. And so if you're not chosen based on like experience or your current unit or whatever, it's not the final say so. We'll give you information on how you may qualify moving forward. And then once you've met that requirement, you can come back through the application process and undergo another interview with Interstaff. Thank you for that question, Cherish. And so, again, I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. We have Olubunmi from Nigeria, and her question is, or their question is, if I'm eligible to work before passing Nclex and Ielts as a registered nurse. Great question, thank you. So you can work in your home country in your current position, but no nurse can come to the U.S. without completing our full immigration process. So that means CGFNS, Nclex, Ielts, immigration, embassy interview. You have to complete the total process before you can come work as a nurse in the U.S. Thank you for your question. And so again, I'm going to keep on apologizing because I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. But Odunayo asks, do you cover Nclex expenses? Great question. So I briefly touched on it earlier, but just to go a little bit more in depth, we do have timeline requirements that we ask of our nurses. Those requirements are given in writing once a nurse is offered an agreement to work with Interstaff. So we ask you to turn in some documentation and pay documentation in a certain time frame. So if nurses abide by timeline requirements, then we will offer an Nclex travel reimbursement for you to go and take the Nclex. We cover your state board application fee and we cover your Nclex registration fee. Thank you for your question. Sarah from Kenya asked, do you offer housing? Yes, we do. And so when it's closer to your time to come to the U.S., one of our deployment coordinators will reach out to you and you'll know of your location and where you'll be staying. And so we'll give you a list of maybe 3 to 5 apartment complexes that you can review and look at and see the pricing and the area. And so you get to choose where you would like to settle in. And so once you come to the U.S., we'll get you, your apartment will be ready to go. And we will cover your first full month of rent once you come here. And so your housing will already be situated once you arrive in the U.S. Thank you for your question. Okay. You're welcome, Sienna. Okay, Amaka asks, how do I get the referral link to my bonus? Great question. So every link that I've discussed in this video will be added to the comment section. And it'll be the referral bonus. It'll be the link to submit an application. It'll be a link to our deployment states. It'll be a link to our process. So you can know more about Interstaff, our process, our offerings, and how to move forward from here. And so Olivia asked, do you sponsor for Nclex exam and flight? So we cover your Nclex registration fee, and so the travel reimbursement that we offer you will go towards the exam, will go towards your travel costs, so flight or hotel. And so sometimes the travel reimbursement that we offer will not include the total travel expenses. And we apologize if that's the case for you. It is not meant to fully cover the cost. Just to be fair, across the board, different nurses have different costs, travel costs for the Nclex, depending on their country of origin or wherever country they're working in and where they go to take the Nclex. So we have a set travel reimbursement that we offer our nurses, and that will go towards your travel costs. So thank you for your question. Hi, Masette. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Lucille from Mexico. She asked, do I need a tourist visa to continue my process? So for our Mexican citizens, we have a TN visa program. So you will not undergo the EB3 visa process. You will undergo our TN visa program. And so we have previously had Facebook Live events discussing the process. So we'll send you a link to previous videos. We'll send you the link to the process and how to submit an application. So your visa will be the T to continue with becoming an RN in the U.S. So Kwame asks, for the 12 to 16 months for Nclex and Ielts passers, is visa retrogression factored into that length of time? That's a great question. And so that'll be a question for our immigration director, Araceli. She will be able to concisely answer that. I don't believe that retrogression is factored into that length of time, but I'm not exactly sure. But she will answer you here in the chat. I'm sorry, I don't have more information for you right now, Kwame. She's the immigration expert, so she'll be able to help you with that, okay? Okay, Esther asks, are there specific hospitals you need to be working in for one to be considered? Great question, thank you for that. So there isn't specific hospitals. It's not like we have a list of hospitals that we only recruit nurses from, but your hospital does have to meet a certain requirement. So it does have to have at least 100 beds in the hospital in order to qualify. And sometimes, so we previously used the terminology, I always say this word incorrectly, tertiary, or tertiary, see, I said it wrong, but tertiary hospital. Previously, we used the terminology for tertiary hospital, so now we've kind of used the terminology that's more inclusive. So we ask that you work in an acute care inpatient facility with 100 beds. So as long as your hospital is registered as that, then you meet our requirements. And just to give more information on that, we do check your hospital to make sure online to make sure that it meets our requirements. So say for instance that you know that your hospital has 100 beds, but it's not registered online as 100 beds, we will have to go with the information found online just because it's verifiable. So if you work in a hospital that has 100 beds but has not updated its registry or its website, feel free to speak to your hospital administration to ask them to update it so you can become qualified for our process. Thank you for that question. Let's see. Francis asks from Kenya, will I be eligible for the bonus if I opt to cover the cost of Nclex after I sign the agreement? So the Nclex bonus is only for Nclex passers who have passed the Nclex before they sign an agreement with Interstaff. I'm sorry, but that is our policy. So if you sign the agreement and then say you pass the Nclex 2 weeks later or a month later without undergoing a review, you will not be eligible for the bonus because it is strictly for people who pass the Nclex before signing an agreement. Thank you for your question. Let's see. So Joyce is watching from Kenya. Thank you for joining us. She asks, how long do I wait for your response upon filling and forwarding the CGSNF form? Okay, so Joyce, if you have already joined Interstaff and you sign an agreement and you have a processing officer, they will be able to answer all of your questions. So one thing we ask, we like our nurses to keep in mind is that our processing officers, there is a time difference based on where you are since they are in the Philippines. So we ask that you just keep in mind that there's a time difference and we have set work hours and we don't have work hours on the weekend. So say if you submit an email or a question on Friday, just keep in mind that your response, you will receive a response sometime on Monday or the next business day. And so they'll be able to answer your question about filling and forwarding the CGSNF form. But if this, if it's a similar question like this, how long do I have to wait before receiving a response once I sign the agreement? So you will receive a response within 5 to 10 minutes. So if you submitted an application and you haven't heard back, just we ask that you check your junk or spam folder, and maybe how your email is set up. So check that. Or just make sure when you submit an application that you enter your email address correctly. A lot of the times when nurses submit an application and they say they haven't heard back from us, most of the time it's because their email address was submitted incorrectly. So we ask that you make sure it's submitted correctly, check your junk or spam folder to see if the welcome email is there. If you've done all of that and you still haven't heard back, we're sorry, but that doesn't mean we're ignoring you, okay? It just might have been an overstep, but don't give up hope. We're here for you. We want to speak to you. So if you want to receive a status about your application, email recruiting@interstaffinc.com. And so we'll put that email address in the chat for you to send us an email, okay? And it says recruiting, but you're talking to me. So I'm more than willing to check the status of your application and get you going, all right? Okay. Thank you, Joyce. Sorry I didn't have more information for you, but your processing officer definitely will. Alrighty, continue to scroll a little bit more. Do you cover the cost of document verification? Thank you, Francis. Okay, so that is an immigration question. And again, I'm sorry that I don't have more responses for the immigration based questions. I don't want to give you incorrect information or steer you the wrong way. I am my focus is recruiting, but no worries. Our immigration director is here in the chat, and she'll be able to send you a response, or she'll send you a direct message, or we'll email you if you're already in our program, okay? No worries. We're going to get you situated. So Kelvin from Nigeria asks, how can I apply? Great question. We're dropping the link all throughout this chat section. Isn't that right, team? Right. They're here helping me. So I can't type and speak at the same time. But no worry, we're gonna drop that link in the chat. Christian asked the same thing from Nigeria. How will I apply? Okay, we'll send everybody the link who asked, and we'll just post it here in the chat. Okay. Oh man, I'm so sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Achibiri asked from Nigeria, if you have passed your Ielts and are done with the verification and the board, how long would it take if you have passed the Nclex to relocate or move? Okay, so a general answer. I think it's 12 to 16 months. But again, this is an immigration question, and our immigration director will respond to you. So for now, for the sake of time, if you ask any questions based on based on immigration, I'm just gonna skip over them, but that doesn't mean that we're ignoring your question, okay? I just wanna make sure that I can give you all the most accurate information that I can personally provide you. So I'll go through these responses and questions and make sure I can answer the recruiting questions. So Sammy from Kenya asks, where are the Nclex centers? Great question. There are testing centers in South Africa, India, the UK, and the Philippines. In the UK, if I didn't say that already, sorry if I did. So nurses do have the option of choosing where they go to take the Nclex. So say for example, you have the choice between South Africa and India. Whichever one is most affordable for you to take your exam, you can choose it. So you can choose India over South Africa or vice versa. It's just based on what's most convenient for you, okay? Thank you for that question. So Francis asks, how soon will I sit for the Nclex upon signing the agreement? Great question. Okay, so it depends on your readiness. So there are a few steps that you have to complete before taking the Nclex. So the very first step is the CES report process with the CGFNS. And so you have to complete that process first, and your processing officer will give you all the tools, the resources, and the information you need to complete that process. And so that's the very first step. And then once you're done with that, then you will begin the fingerprint card process and the state board application process, if I'm not mistaken. So once that's complete, then you will undergo your 3-month Nclex review. And so we'll be cheering you along your way through your Nclex review, letting you know that you can do it and asking, how's it going and so forth. And so once you complete your 3-month review, we will analyze your scores and discuss them with you to determine your readiness to test. So if your scores reflect that you are ready to test, then we'll give you the approval and we'll start with the ATT to go ahead and sit for the exam. And then you'll go to schedule and then you'll take the Nclex. Say, for example, that your scores do not reflect that you're ready for the exam. We will encourage you to undergo a review. This is because we want you to be as confident as possible when you go to take the Nclex. And we believe this is why our first time pass rate is so high, currently at 82%, give or take, is because that we make sure our nurses are ready to take the Nclex once they're there. So that question, just to specifically say, it depends on your readiness, but that is the whole answer in a nutshell. Thank you for that question. Okay, so my Cleo asks, do you take nurses currently not working? Okay, so as a part of our basic requirements, you have to currently work in a hospital in order to qualify. And so that hospital, as stated, must be an acute care inpatient facility with 100 plus beds. And so this reminds me, just to give you a little bit more background on that. Say, for example, you worked for 2 years in a 50-bed hospital, and now you've moved to a 100-bed acute care setting, but you've only been there for 3 months. So technically, you will have to wait until you've reached a year of experience in this 100-bed acute care hospital. Because even though we appreciate your previous experience, you have to have at least 1 year of experience in an approved hospital setting. So it doesn't mean that you're completely disqualified. It just means that we ask you to obtain some more experience in that approved setting, and then we welcome you to come back and apply. But as of now, we do not accept applications from nurses not working in a hospital. Thank you for that question. Okay, hey everybody from Nigeria and Kenya. So I'm sorry if I mispronounced this. Brishti asked, can I do further study while working for Interstaff? Of course, if you want to undergo more studies while you're doing your process with Interstaff, it's completely fine. We just ask that you make sure it won't interfere with your process or the time that it will take to study for the Nclex. So sometimes it may be overwhelming for some nurses to work full time and then study for the Nclex, but study for their program as well. So there isn't any, we don't stop nurses or say that you can't study while you're in the process. We just ask that you really take into consideration the time and the work that it will take for you to complete our process. And the same thing is for nurses once they get to the U.S. We encourage nurses to further their studies. We have recently had a few nurses who have gotten their BSN while they're doing our program in the U.S. And so again, we just ask that you keep in mind the time it will take to work and complete what's required of you, whether it's in the process to come to the U.S. or you're in the U.S. Okay. Let's see. Do you have places for psych nurses? At this time, we do not have placements for psych nurses. We will give people a list of positions that we are currently recruiting for. We'll send you a message. So if you have a question about if your specialty is accepted, then we will send you a direct message. Essie asked, kindly share the link for the states of deployment. Were we able to put that in the chat?
The states for deployment?
Yes.
Put it inside.
Okay, so we are getting those links for you. No worries. We have you. No fear. All right. Hi, Beryl from Kenya. And so thank you for your interest in Interstaff. We would love to speak with you. So there will be, if there's already a link in here to apply, we'll respond to your comment and send you the link. No worries. So Ochieng, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Do we offer referral bonuses? If so, how much? Yes, we do. We will send you a direct message with the details. We'll send you the amount and the requirements for the referral bonus. Thank you for your question. And so Antoinette asks, how can I apply for the Nclex exam? So once you're in our process, you'll be prompted and guided on the Nclex process. We'll help you through that. No worries at all. Thank you, Karen, for saying this is informative. I hope that so far I've been able to adequately answer your questions. Again, I apologize if you have immigration specific questions and I haven't been able to answer them for you. Have no fear, our immigration director will get back to you. And so guess what? She's gonna do a live video too. She might be a little bit more camera shy than me, but it's okay. So her time will come and you'll be able to ask every immigration question that you have. So I'll answer a few more questions. It is now 11:45 my time, so it's 15 minutes until the next hour. So I will answer questions for the next 15 minutes. Go through the comments here and we'll wrap up within the next 15 minutes. But before I wrap up, I just want to say I truly appreciate you all for taking the time to come and join us here. It means a lot to us. Interstaff is always here and we're so excited for our nurses and all the people that we get to help. It's truly an honor what we do and we care about you. We truly do. And it's an honor for me to be a part of this process as well. Going off topic here, I went on a deployment about 2 to 3 weeks ago to a city here in Texas. And we deployed 5 of our Kenyan nurses. And I must say, I've been at Interstaff for 2 years now, since January 2019. And it was probably one of the most rewarding experiences of my life, to be honest. It was such an honor to learn about other people and their background, their culture, and their food, and how amazed that they were to see the differences here in the United States and just to see their pure excitement about starting their journey here in the U.S. And they were just so thankful of how helpful we were. So if you're in the process and you're about to deploy, I want to go on some more deployments. I want to meet you, okay? I want to learn about you and your culture, and it's so fun, all right? So Interstaff is always here for you. We're so excited to meet you, but we only have 15 minutes left, so let me get back to these questions, all right? All righty. And so Ochieng has said there has been issues with PayPal for reimbursement. So we will consider other means of reimbursement. We have we're working to do bank transfers. Previously we've done Western Union, but we are working to do bank transfers. So no worry. So if anybody had an issue or whatever in a part of a process or whatever, please feel free to send us a message explaining your situation. We are always here to help you. It's not an end-all be-all. We're not here to stop you from doing anything. We're always ready and willing to help you. So thank you for that question. If anybody has any other questions that they want to ask specific to their situation, email recruiting@interstaffinc.com. That email address will be in the chat, okay? Alrighty, let's see. Oh, Kwame, thank you so much for expressing your love for Interstaff. We love you too. Okay. I'm sorry if I mispronounced this. Adamazi has said she's going to sign up. Hey, that's so excited. I can't wait to speak with you. All right. I'll see your application coming through. Let's see. What do we offer a person who has already passed the Nclex? Great question, Lugard. I'm sorry if I mispronounced. So for our Nclex passers, meaning people who have already passed the Nclex before signing an agreement with Interstaff, We do have bonuses and offerings up to $4,500. So we help you with your. We'll send you some information, but we do help you along the process, and so there are some bonuses and offerings for that. We'll send you a message on our offerings, but yes, that is our offer in a brief nutshell. But we'll send you some specifics your way. All right. Jay asks, what type of jobs are available for our spouses? That's a great question. And our employee services director, Madison, will be hosting one of these as well. And one of the topics that he would discuss is employment for spouses. And so there's different opportunities available. So there are online resources that you can utilize to see. So once you learn of your location, you can look for jobs in the area. And so you'll build up your resume, and then your spouse can submit their resume for that job opening. And so this is a process that you can start before you even get to the US. And so there are resources available. Our employee services team is here to help give you those resources for your spouse to gain employment. We want everybody to be employed, right? Okay. Do we sponsor dependent visas? Okay, so I didn't really touch on this, but just to say, your spouse and any married children under the age of 21 can immigrate with you to the U.S. We will cover your full immigration process. We will manage your family's immigration process, but we do not sponsor your family's immigration process.
We do all the paperwork.
But we do all the paperwork. We do everything for you. We provide you with the cost beforehand, and it's not something that you have to pay for as soon as you sign an agreement. So it's not like once you sign an agreement, all fees are due. No, it's not like that. You have much time to save for this. So you may have a year and a half or a year, depending on what stage you are in the process, to save for the fees. And we give you the fees up front so you know what you're looking at. And when the time comes, you'll be prepared. But we do handle your family's paperwork, and we manage their immigration process. We just sponsor the nurses' full immigration and visa fees. Francis asks, do we accept oncology nurses? So we have a list of running openings that we have, and we'll send you those openings. If I'm not mistaken, we are accepting oncology nurses. Are we recruiting nurses from Nigeria? Yes. So that's a great question. I forgot to mention that we recruit nurses from all over the world. If you're from Liberia, or if you're from Jamaica or the Philippines or Thailand, we accept you. So submit an application, and we love to speak with you, okay? All right. So Kwame asked about the CGFNS visa screening process. That's an immigration-based question. Our immigration director will be able to answer that for you. Let's see. So Maria asks, if I have experience for 1 year on a tertiary hospital but not currently working there, do I qualify? Unfortunately not. You have to currently work in an approved hospital in order to qualify. Again, we appreciate your previous experience, but you have to work in the hospital right now in order to qualify. Thank you. Jay will send you, they asked if there's opportunities for PICU nurses. We'll send you a list of openings right now. Let's see. All right, I think. So Jay asked another question about how long the immigration process will take after passing the Nclex and Ielts. I'll give a rough estimate. Mostly it depends on your visa screen and immigration process, but I can say maybe 12 to 18 months after you pass the Nclex and Ielts. Again, that's not an accurate time frame. Our immigration director will be able to assist you with that. Stephanie, I see your comment about the travel accommodation. We'll send you a direct message, okay? Thank you for that. I apologize if I mispronounced, but Maja said there's tons of opportunities here for your spouses. Thank you for your comment. So yes, if there's any nurses who are currently working in the U.S. and their spouse has gained employment, we encourage you to share your testimony and encourage other people about how they can undergo the same process and gain employment too. Alrighty. Okay, so Dennis asked, did I say rent for a full month or rent for 4 months? Great question, and thank you for asking me to clarify. I'm sorry if I wasn't clear. So we offer, we cover your rent for the first full month. Okay, and so the stipend that we give you once you arrive in the U.S., us paying and getting your furniture and paying for your first month's rent will give you enough cushion to save up some money to get settled. And so once you start working, you'll be fully acclimated and you'll be ready to go. So we never want to put nurses in a tight financial bond. So we're here to help you, and we give you the stipend and the cover your housing and the furniture so you can get settled, and so you don't have to worry once you get here. We want you to be as comfortable as possible. Let's see. So Ben asked, is there a limit for how long you need to have been married to qualify going with your wife? So this is a new question I haven't seen before, but I want to say no. I haven't heard. So Tyler, our president of Interstaff, just confirmed that you don't. So you can be married for a week and then boop, good to go. All right, so it is 5 minutes to the hour. And I think that wraps it up. Prince. So, Princess said Nigerians are being denied visas to write Nclex in South Africa. Hello. So one thing is we will work on your behalf to get your visitor's visa to write the Nclex. That is what our processing officers are here for. And so we'll help you with that. If you have a specific case right now with Interstaff that you have questions or need clarifications on, feel free to email your processing officer or contact our immigration director. So for now, I think that concludes all the comments. If I overlooked your comment, I truly apologize. There are a lot here and I can't read them all. But no worries. Myself and my team will run back through these comments to answer you all. We either reply to you in the comment or send you a direct message so we can give you as much information as you need, okay? Okay, so my name is Taylor Harris again. I am the International Program Manager for our EB3 visa process here at Interstaff. It has been truly a pleasure speaking with you all. Thank you for taking the time to join me. I hope that this has been an informative experience. We will definitely be doing this more. And it won't only be recruiting, it'll be immigration, it'll be deployment. And if you have any other specific topics that you would like us to speak to you all about, just let us know. We'll get the time to meet with you all, we'll get the notice out, and then we'll go from there, all right? So don't forget, my email address is in the chat. It's recruiting@interstaffinc.com. I'm always here from you. I'm always here for you, sorry. And I'm willing to answer all your questions. I'm excited about all the new nurses that we're going to meet and all the applications that we're going to get and all the interviews. I'm just excited, if you can't tell. So again, thank you so much. I hope y'all have a wonderful night, evening, morning, whatever time it is where you are. Thank you again, and God bless you all.